What's going on? How's everybody doing today? Today we're going to be talking a little bit about how to create your own workspace as a musician so that you can make music in a comfortable and creative environment that you're stoked about. I'm also going to show you how with a pretty small budget and a bit of work and energy, I turned this into this. Before we get started today, I just want to say thank you for checking this video out. If you end up liking what you see, please consider subscribing. I'm really new to this YouTube game. I play in Shakeout. We are the live looping punk band. All of our music is on our channel. So now that we got that out of the way. Alright, so this is the part of the video where I'll say, yo YouTube, welcome to my crib. Or maybe not. But anyway, I used to have a warehouse space right here in Yonkers, New York that I used to teach music, create my own music. I used to also host local shows and have a bunch of touring bands come through, and I used it as a DIY venue. That space was called The Donk. I still, to this day, run a collective under The Donk Collective. I just transported the physical space that I had from that warehouse into my home. I currently live in the basement of my home, and my basement is attached to a one-car garage. What I did was I took half of the basement and half of the garage and created a studio space so that I could continue to make music, I could continue to teach lessons, and I can continue to work as a musician out of my home. So let's take a look at my home studio. This is the control room of my home studio. This wall right here I built with the help of my drummer, AJK. It was a way to split my basement into two parts and make this a separate room. And mind you, I want to say that I had no idea how to do any of this beforehand. I had never framed or built a wall before, and in this home studio I ended up framing and building 5 different walls. So what I'm saying is, you can do whatever you want, as long as you're willing to take the time to learn. I have a fairly basic setup. My drummer, AJK, he owns this X32 rack unit, and I'll show you in a second, but we run that with a digital snake into our live room, and we just run the one cable that it needs to do so through a hole in the wall in our boiler room. Other than that, I just have a set of studio monitors, a keyboard. I run everything off a MacBook Pro. I do record my own band and I do record other bands from time to time, but I'm not running a professional recording studio here. I use this more as a workspace for myself more than anything else. So now that you saw the control room, we're gonna take a walk into my garage and take a look at the live room. I have a one-car garage. It's pretty small, but what I ended up doing was building this wall with a door right in the middle of the garage, and the back could be a live room for playing, recording, teaching, etc. And again, I'd like to reiterate, I built this wall, I installed this door, I had never done anything like this before. I was completely winging it, I bought the materials and kind of just figured it out. So, thanks to my friends, Frank Mazie and Costa of Maintenance and Save the Broken, they helped me put the electricity in the back here, and they helped light up this room. But yeah, welcome to the live room.
What can I say? This was a surprise for me. I know you can't see through this, but
So in here, it's pretty tight. It's not a very big room. I have had practices with up to 4 people in here, but it's not ideal for that. Luckily, Shakeout, we practice here all the time, but we're only a 2-piece, so it's okay, it kind of works. But in this room, we're able to fit a drum kit. I have my Orange amps, shout out to Orange for the hookups all the time, really appreciate Orange, they help me out a lot. We also have a PA system that is actually linked up to the X32 that is in the control room. And as I mentioned before, we use a digital snake, which we have just one wire going through this hole in the wall that leads to our boiler room, which leads into the basement. So nothing crazy. I adapted what I had to make a workspace that I thought would work for what I needed. Yes, this room is tiny, and some people have even smaller spaces, but I'm able to do everything I need to. I can have band practice in here. I can teach my lessons in here. I can do some recording in here. We track live drums in here. We track live guitars in here. And overall, I'm able to accomplish all the goals that I need out of this space. Now I'm going to show you off the last part of the workspace, which is the half of the garage we first walked into.
motivation's low, it's not a priority. You think this will change, but it won't.
So, what exactly is happening on this side of my garage? Last year I invested in a screen printing press, as long as some other gear and tools to be able to print my own t-shirts. A big part of what I do and what I'm trying to accomplish with my band and helping out my friends' bands is merch. Everybody needs merchandise because merchandise is a form of income that's huge for musicians now. In an effort to be more creative and even more hands-on with my own project, I decided that I wanted to print my own merch. Although this has taken a lot of time and effort to learn how to screen print properly. It's been a lot of fun, it's been really worth it, and overall it just made my workspace another place for me to do something creative, something that helps my goals as an independent musician. So yeah, you saw the print shop, you saw the live room, you saw the control room. That's my home workspace. So now let's talk about creating your own that works with your goals and within your budget. I think a couple questions that you need to ask yourself when creating your own space as a musician is, one, what is it that you are trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish in that work environment? Two, how much physical space do you have and how much can you fit so that the work environment is still comfortable and it can be a place where you can feel creative and a place that you want to go to create music. And three, how much time do you have in the day to do all of the things that you want to get done within that workspace? So now that you've asked yourself these questions, take into consideration your space and what you have. Is it just your bedroom? Is it a closet? Is it a part of your bedroom? Do you have a basement? Are you able to afford to rent out a studio space somewhere? Everybody's in a different spot. Everyone's on a different budget. I know for myself, I feel very fortunate that I have a part of my basement as well as my garage, but I used to just work completely out of my basement. I lived in it. I had my drum kit set up in here. I had all my amps. I had my computer. I had everything down in my basement in a pretty small space. You can most likely make whatever space you have work for your needs. One piece of advice I would give to anyone, any musician, is invest in a computer of some sort, whether it be a laptop or a desktop computer, any computer of some sort, a recording interface, and some kind of DAW, whether that be as simple as GarageBand or Audacity or Pro Tools, Logic, etc. It's so important as a musician that you have a way to record music, and it's pretty cheap nowadays to do so. You can get an interface just like this Behringer UMC 8-input interface on the used market for about $200. If you don't even want to spend $200 and you just want one input to plug in a microphone or to plug in your instrument, you can spend 30 to 40 bucks on Amazon and find a bunch of interfaces. I'll link to some in the description, so check it out. If you have a way to record your music, you're gonna find that you'll be able to be way more creative and you'll be able to look back on the things you're working on and really figure out what it is that you like to make and hone your craft. So if I were to say anything, if you are looking to build a home workspace, have some way to record your music. There's so many inexpensive options and ways to do so now. Demoing out your songs and learning how to navigate a DAW is super, super helpful. And whether you have a corner of your room where you can put a desk and you can just throw that recording interface and that computer on that desk, that's good enough. Just grab a set of speakers, even just headphones. When I was in my college dorm, I would exclusively work off headphones because I didn't have the room for my studio monitors. But even in my little college dorm, I still made sure that I had a space to record my music. It's super important. So now, other than recording gear, what are you trying to accomplish within your music space? Where is your music career leading? Are you a hobbyist? Are you looking to make a full-time living as a musician? Well, if you're looking to make a full-time living as a musician, you have to consider a few things. The main thing that you need to consider is having multiple income streams. In this day and age, especially if you play in a DIY or independent band, you're only going to make so much money off your shows, and you're only going to make so much money off your record sales. So, yes, shows, record sales, streams, those are parts of your income. But how else can you make money? Well, think about creating your home space to address that. For me, as I showed you, I have a print shop in my garage. I use this print shop to, one, print merch for my own band, Shakeout. I also print merch for my friends and their bands. I also print merch for the Don Collective. This for me is a way to, one, be creative and stay excited about my projects. I am super, super hands-on with everything that I do personally in my music career. It's pretty rewarding to me to print my own t-shirts and then sell them and be happy that people are gonna wear the t-shirts that I printed. But it's also another way for me to generate some income within my music career, whether it be the fact that selling Shakeout merch and Don Collective merch, since I am printing the merch myself, I will make more per item that I sell. But also being able to use my workspace and my environment to generate some more income by printing shirts for my friends and being able to offer them awesome prices for their merch. It's really a win-win for everybody. I get to be creative, I get to use my workspace to make some money, and I get to help out my friends. So what else can you use your workspace for? It's really up to you to be creative. I also use the live room in my garage to teach music. I went to school for music education, so teaching is something that I'm really passionate about and I really do love. So I teach guitar, piano, and drum lessons right here out of my workspace in my home. And again, it's another way for me to be a musician and generate some income. So how can you optimize your workspace to help you achieve your goals? That's up to you to be creative and figure out what your goals are. Maybe you just want to run a full-time recording studio. That's awesome. I do record out of here. I have recorded friends' bands. I'm always working on projects here. It's not my main focus, but a lot of people want to run a recording studio, and that's awesome. Maybe you want to become a YouTube star. I just got into these videos. This is fairly new for me, and it's kind of, for me, it's more of a way to keep myself on track and keep myself working and keep moving forward with the things that I'm doing. But with that being said, maybe you have some awesome thing that you want to showcase and you want to build a video production part of your workspace, or you want to shoot music videos out of your workspace for bands. There's so much you can do with very little space and very little budget. So before we wrap up today's video, let's talk really quick about budget. I think one thing is really important, that if you don't have a lot of money, like myself, it's okay to just build a little bit at a time. Get the little things you need. Start to figure out slowly. This workspace for me was years of building, years of collecting, and years of understanding what it is exactly that I want out of my workspace at home. And it'll never be finished. There's always things to improve on when building out a home studio or a workspace. That's totally cool. Start small, build. As I said before, you can get recording software for pretty cheap. You can buy a cheap MacBook or Mac Mini, used somewhere on Facebook or on Reverb or on Craigslist. And you could start with GarageBand and a $30 to $40 interface and a microphone or your guitar cable, and that could be your start to your home studio. That's totally fine. Start to build slowly. Understand that you'll just need a few things to get started. Understand your goals and understand what are the few small things you need to get started with achieving those goals. And once you understand your goals better and you know what you want to do as a musician, you'll know where to start and you'll start to be able to do your own research and figure out what it is that you need in your workspace. Would love to hear about what other people have in their studios at home. Please let me know in the comments. Also, let me know how I'm doing with this. This is really new for me. I'm just getting into this vlogging thing and these videos. So please, would love to know your thoughts. And if you have any questions about anything I spoke about today, please, again, hit the comments and please consider subscribing. I'm going to be updating these videos weekly. Not all the videos are going to be vlog style like this. A lot of the videos I'll be doing will be related to my band, Shakeout, and some music that we're working on. But please, subscribe to the channel if you like this. And thanks for tuning in.